watching NBC4, the Tri-State News Channel. And now, Chuck Scarborough, Sue Simmons, Janice Huff, and Len Berman. This is News Channel 4 at 11.
It's over for the Mets. A heartbreaking defeat for the Amazons in the final hour. Good evening, everyone. Chuck and Sue have the night off. I'm Michele Marsh.
And I'm Ralph Penza. Well, it was quite a game. The Mets gave it their all, and for a while it looked like they were going to come out on top. But the Braves pulled it out in the 11th hour. Len Berman now live in Atlanta. He's got the story. Len?
Well, Ralph, all I can do is salute these Mets. They're down 5-0 in the first inning. They're down 7-3. They actually come back. They take the lead in the 8th. They take the lead in the 10th. Finally succumb in the 11th. They nearly force a 7th game. I know Met fans are disappointed, but they gave us an unbelievable show to get within 2 games of a Subway World Series. What a ride it was. The Mets finally, just once again, cannot win at Turner Field. All right, let me show you a couple of highlights. That disastrous first inning is what got it going. The Braves with 5 runs on just 2 hits. MVP Eddie Perez, a 2-run single. Al Leiter hit 2 batters in the inning. Mike Piazza had a throwing error, his first of 2. Leiter did not get anyone out in that inning, quickly lifted 5-0 after 1. Darrell Hamilton, a 2-run single for the Mets in the 6th, a 3-run inning of Kevin Millwood. That was it for him. 5-3 Braves after 6. But bottom of the 6th inning, Dennis Cook with the bases loaded and the base hit by pinch hitter Jose Hernandez. The Braves taking a 7-3 lead, but the Mets charge all the way back against reliever John Smoltz. Mike Piazza caps the 4-run inning, tying the game at 7. The Mets then took the lead in the 8th and the 10th, but in the 11th inning, the bases loaded walk from Kenny Rogers to Andrew Jones, and the Braves win the pennant on a whimper, on a walk, 10-9. The team that refused to die finally expires in the 11th inning, 10-9, the final. And afterwards, Bobby Valentine had a few words with the assembled media.
It's very difficult to come back 5 runs with Millwood pitching and have a couple leads. Yeah, it's difficult to give it up, but we gave everything we had. There's a lot left out on that field, I guarantee you that.
Okay, anything else? Any other questions?
All right, just a short briefing from Bobby Valentine, and what can you expect? The Mets gave it their all, gave us some terrific thrills. They played 26 innings over the last 2 days, nearly 3 games worth the last 2 games, but in the end, the Braves go to the World Series against the New York Yankees, a rematch of '96, of course. We'll be back here Saturday night for Game 1 of that series. We'll have a lot more to tell you coming up in sports, some more post-game reaction from that Met locker room. For now, let's send you back to New York.
Thanks, Len. I agree the Mets have a lot to be proud of. And the fans, meanwhile, were on the edge of their seats all night long watching this nail-biter. Queens reporter Scott Weinberger is live at St. John's University, where students took time out to root for the home team. How are they handling the disappointment?
Well, Michele, for fans all over, what an incredible roller coaster ride. What an incredible season. And here at St. John's University, where we have fans of Atlanta and the Mets, watching tonight's game was a required class. They came prepared to root for their team, from rally caps to chips and soda to pennant fever. This game began with great expectations.
You have to know what you're doing. You have to make smart plays. You have to make right plays at the right time. And it's a matter of it's a matter of luck, and it's a matter of skill. And if we combine everything, we should be able to make it.
I've been a Mets fan since I'm a little girl. Me and my dad used to watch on TV, and this is their chance to get into the World Series.
But the mood here quickly silenced by first inning for the Mets, which fell apart at the seams. By the end of the first inning, 5 Atlanta runs had crossed the plate.
I'm a little worried, to be honest with you, but I think they'll be able to do it. I never lose hope. The Mets are going to do it. They're going to do it.
But in the 6th inning, a breath of new life. The meat of the Mets batting order, putting the Amazons on the scoreboard. Well, the Met fans here are proud of their team, and of course the Atlanta fans are pretty pumped up. But we do have another team here in New York that's going to the World Series. And they're telling us it's time for them to get revenge for us. We're live at the Queens campus of St. John's University. Scott Weinberger, News Channel 4. Ralph?
Okay, Scott, sounds good to me. There is other news tonight, of course. John Cardinal O'Connor is still in the hospital tonight, resting easily after receiving treatment earlier today for that blood clot in his left leg. Doctors say it's a common problem for someone who's older and undergoing radiation. They placed a special filter in a main vein that should, the doctors say, prevent the clot from moving into his heart or his lungs. Last month, Cardinal O'Connor had a brain tumor removed. Now, if all goes well, he could be released tomorrow. Michelle?
The Ku Klux Klan filed suit in federal court today, demanding that the city allow its self-proclaimed White Pride rally to take place Saturday in Manhattan. The KKK claims its First Amendment rights will be violated if they aren't granted a permit. This morning in Lower Manhattan, anti-Klan groups gathered to speak their minds.
They want to stand with hoods and talk about how proud they are. Well, I can tell you as an out lesbian that if you're proud of who you are, you don't stand around with a hood and hide.
2 federal judges will hear the KKK's case this Thursday.
And more for you coming up. Land use. A great-grandmother's dream for a park on Staten Island, rebuilding a wasteland. We're going to have an exclusive report.
And a controversial recommendation on Navy testing on an island off Puerto Rico. Reaction is strong. Stay with us. I think it's going to take me a while to have some closure on this Mets season.
They played valiantly.
They did, but they came back so many times, Len. It's hard to believe there's not going to be a tomorrow.
Well, there'll be a tomorrow. It'll just be a Yankee Brave tomorrow. We came that close to a Subway Series. Let me show you a scene we shot right at the end of the game. We were standing right here at the edge of the dugout. We'll roll you the tape from our truck here in Atlanta, and you'll see the reaction on the Mets bench as there were hugs all the way around. Quite an emotional scene as this long, glorious, magical carpet ride finally came to a close here in Atlanta in the 11th inning as the Mets exchange hugs, and Al Leiter involved, and of course he had that disastrous first inning, and that was the scene at the end of the game. Let me back up now and show you why this all transpired here in Atlanta. It was a disastrous first inning for the Mets. 2 on, nobody out, and on the Gerald Williams steal, Mike Piazza, the first of his 2 throwing errors on the night, the Braves took a 1-0 lead, and still in that bottom of the first inning, bases loaded to Eddie Perez. The Braves MVP in the series, 2-run score, 4-0, before Al Leiter retired a single batter, and he was gone. 5-0 Braves after 1. Leiter didn't have it on 3 days rest. The Mets finally broke through in the 6th inning against Kevin Millwood. Darrell Hamilton's 3rd hit of the game, a 2-run single, a 3-run inning, 5-3 Braves. Exit Millwood. The Mets out hit Atlanta 15-10 tonight. Bases loaded in the 6th. Dennis Cook gives up the huge base hit to pinch hitter Jose Hernandez. 2-run score. Atlanta takes a 7-3 lead. Mike Piazza. What a story for him. Against reliever John Smoltz, capping the 4-run inning with the 2-run homer. The Mets tie at 7-7 in the 7th, trying to force a 7th game. And then in the top of the 10th, Todd Pratt, very nearly the hero again with a sacrifice fly as the Mets take yet another 1-run lead over the Braves. But in the bottom of the 11th inning, Kenny Rogers, well, he didn't have it. Bases loaded walk to Andrew Jones. That's it. The Mets ride is over. No Subway Series this year. It'll be the Braves and the Yankees in the World Series. Game 1 here Saturday night on NBC at Turner Field. And after the game, Fran Charles spoke with a very emotional Darrell Hamilton.
The way this team has been playing all year, didn't give up. And, I mean, I'm very, very proud to be a Met. I mean, the guys in this clubhouse show a lot of heart all season long. Even the last 3 weeks when our back was against the wall. So, you know, nobody ever complained about anything in here. We never talked bad about the Braves. We knew they were a good ball club. I know for a fact we didn't feel they gave us respect. They dogged us a little bit in the paper and this and that, but everybody in here is a class act. You should be very proud of what they did this year.
Fran, I was waiting out here, waiting to go on the air. I could see off the scoreboard the celebration in the Atlanta locker room. I can't imagine what was going on in this Mets clubhouse.
Well, you know what, Len, if the Mets season were to end, it's fitting that it actually ends on an emotional note the way they played the last month. But once they opened the locker room doors, a lot of tears in there. A lot of the Met players really couldn't believe their season was over.
It took me 16 years to get here and to get so close. It's hard, but you know, life goes on, and hopefully next year we'll be celebrating.
Somebody's got to win. It's the sad part. Somebody's got to lose.
Was there a sense after Melvin got the base hit to put you ahead? This is really going to happen.
There was so many ups and downs in that game that every time we scored, we were thinking, yeah, you know, we're going to win, and when we win this game, we'll win tomorrow for sure. And we just came up short again.
How do you think this team will be remembered?
As a team that never quit, a team that made believers out of a lot of people. And I hope it made a believer out of a lot of fans that are fans that don't quit.
The Mets just 3 outs away from a Subway Series, but it wasn't to be. Right now, it's difficult for these guys to reflect on what a great season, in fact, they did have. But they did. They played well, especially down the stretch.
Nearly forced that 7th game. And so for the 43rd consecutive year in New York City, we will not have a Subway Series, but we came oh so close, just 2 games away, and it was just an emotional ride. Most people don't remember what happens in playoff games. It's usually the World Series that people remember. Right. We'll have some memories of the Grand Slam single and Mike Piazza being banged up and hitting the home run and the Kenny Rogers walk. There'll be memories that'll last a lifetime. This was some series, and we get to come back here and do it all over again Saturday night in the World Series, and we'll see you then. That's the story from Atlanta. For Fran, I'm Len, and back to you.
Okay, guys,
everyone will unite now to root for the Yankees, right?
Oh, it's going to happen. Martha's plan to make more money is promised.
We're going to tell you how things look now that she's gone public.